Today, we will share with you information about getting started at Crossref, so including some of the topics we received the most question from our new members. So these include importance of registering your content and its metadata. Yeah, overview of the benefits and obligation of members, the structure of Crossref device, ways to register your records, updating and adding extra metadata, invoicing and billing, and we have last section on the Q&A. So a quick reminder about our code of conduct. Please be respectful and kind to others throughout the sessions. So we are going to talk a little bit about Zoom features, which are marked with red arrows. So this one, for questions, please use the Q&A function at the bottom of your screen to get your question asked and answered of us. It's easier for us to monitor that Q&A section of the Zoom for questions. We tend to use the chat box here to share links to resources that we discussed during the sessions. There is also little React function that you can use to share your feelings about things. We encourage this session. If you wish, you can also enable caption here by clicking button show captions and choose the language of your preferences. This session is also being recorded. I know some of you already asked that questions on the Zoom chat. Yes, this session will be recorded and we will send to your email address when you register with us. So we will send the recording based on the email on your registration. So if you do decide to raise your hand and volunteer to ask a question later in the session, we can unmute you and allow you to talk and ask the questions. So we encourage you to relax and enjoy the webinar. If you are not comfortable being on camera, so feel free to turn off your video. So now it's my pleasure to introduce my colleagues and myself for today's session. So my name is Robika Rosalin and I'm joined by Novarian Budi Setiawati. So we both serve as member support specialists here at Crossref. So together we'll be guiding you through the session and sharing insights to help make your membership journey smooth. We are also very glad to have Evans Attorney with us, our technical support specialist. Evan will be keeping an eye on the Zoom chat throughout the webinar. So he will share a useful resource link on the chat. So if you have any technical questions, so feel free to drop them there. He'll be happy to help. So please join me in welcoming Nova to share information in membership journey.
Okay, thank you very much, Rubika. I'm going to explain to you about your membership journey. Now that you're a new member here at Crossref, you must be wondering what will happen after you register as a member. Next, please. And as a member, you and your colleagues will receive a number of emails from our membership team with lots of information about starting your membership journey. First, you will receive a welcome email with your Crossref DOI prefix. This email also contains your username, role, and other important information on how to get started as a new member. And it will also contain instructions for setting the password on your new Crossref credentials. We send this email to your technical contact. Make sure that you will not miss this email because the link to set up your password is only available for 4 days. And you will get help in choosing the correct registration tool for you. Depending on what type of content you'd like to register with us, you'll need to choose content registration methods from OJS, Metadata Manager, Web Deposit Form, or Direct XML Upload. And you will receive information on our billing cycle, Basically, it's all about invoices and important checkpoints in which you will receive invoices during the year. And you will get information about voting process. We have one member, one vote policy. So make sure that you understand your voting rights and our vote elections. And you will also receive informations about reports and support. We are sending technical reports to your technical contacts and other person that are assigned to receive them, and make sure you read informations about that. And over the next few months you will be receiving additional emails with more information about some topics that will make your member experience easier, and we'll be discussing few of these topics in today's webinar. Next please. Let's first talk about your benefits and obligations. The benefits of membership. As you are now being a Crossref member, it allows you to create a persistent identifier, which is your DOI itself, and for each object. And also, you can register metadata record for those items. And by registering your research objects, you can connect your research objects with the global network of online scholarly research. This means that your organization becomes a part of globally connected networks of scholarly research, and this community grows each year. We have now over 24,000 organizational members from 160 different countries who have registered nearly 180 million items with us. And the DOI and metadata records is then globally shared with hundreds of tools and thousands of users via our free and open APIs. And these enhance the discoverability of your publications, and it makes your content more easier to be found. And furthermore, you can find out who is citing your content and also participate in other services that we provide, like Cited By, Similarity Check, and also Crossmark. You can join and use the services along your journey as a member in Crossref. And also, we are governed by our board that is made of representatives from our member organizations, and all members are able to vote and stand for in our board, and it gives you a voice in Crossref governance. Now let's talk about the obligation as a member. And among your obligation as a member is to register DOI and metadata record for everything that you publish. Remember that you are allowed to register only the contents that you create, and you cannot register contents that are made by other organizations. And do not register a DOI for an item that already has a DOI record, because DOI itself needs to be remain unique, and it has to be a unique identifier for only that particular item. And you should ensure that your DOI resolve to a unique landing page and abide by the DOI display guidelines that I will explain later in this presentation. And also, you need to undertake reference linking. Reference linking itself means that you display DOI and a list of references at the end of your articles. And everyone who are reading the reference list will be able to click on that DOI, and it leads to the correct item that they are accessing. And you should maintain and update your metadata record for a long time. And finally, you need to ensure that you pay your invoices on time. And I'll also provide this information later. Next, we will take a look at why metadata is very, very important. And as we mentioned before, you register DOI with us, and it also serves as a container of metadata of your article. And basically, I understand that everyone will not be registering journal articles, but this is the most common, and I will focus on them in this section. And as Crossref member, you have registered unique DOI for each items, and this DOI also serve as a container of metadata, which is an important information related to your contents. And you need to provide a rich metadata alongside your record. Rich metadata is very important because we want to make the connections between these records and also the other records in our database. And basically, basic metadata contains your article title and also the journal that your article was published in. And you can also include other informations such as contributors and their affiliations, and it can be reflected in their ORCID ID and ROR ID. ORCID ID is a specific ID for authors, while ROR ID is for the institutions. You can also include funding informations such as the funder's ROR ID, and also for individual grants, you can include your grant numbers or grant DOIs. You can include the relationship with other works such as previous versions of your content, and also if your content has translations, you can include that as well, and you can include your references and other data. And if you make updates to your content, such as corrections, retractions, and withdrawal, you can also include those in your metadata. And it's remember to update your metadata and make sure that it's rich so that your content will be easily discoverable. This is the example of a metadata, and the metadata is stored in our system in a format that's called XML, but you don't need to worry about that too much, as I understand that most of you will be using a helper tool to give us your metadata. And your tool will transform your metadata into this XML file behind the scenes. And as you can see in the highlighted part, you can see the DOI. Um, this is a content by a publisher called eLife, and you can see their DOI started with 10 and blah 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 eLife slash blah blah blah. So this is your DOI, and also you can see at the second box that the metadata contains a very important information such as publisher name, citations, and other IDs, and also other informations like in your related to your content itself. So yeah, this is the example of how metadata is stored. And our REST API is relied on by a large part of the research information community and beyond. And we receive nearly 2 billion requests each month through our API. This diagram that I'm showing you shows the outside ring, which is some types of the tools and organizations that are using our metadata. And the inside ring is the different ways that our metadata is used. Our metadata is used by metrics and analytics tools such as Web of Science and Scopus. And also it is used by library discovery system to find content the researchers have access to. And also it is used by organizations such as the OAG. So yeah, you can see how your content will be discoverable in a very different way. Now let's talk about Research Nexus. Basically, all of the metadata elements and relationships that I've been talking about form something called a research nexus. This is a rich hub that tells the story of your TOI, your records, and how they connect and relate with each others. And we envision this as a rich, reusable open network of relationships that connect research, organizations, people, things, and actions. And yeah, basically the foundation of this research nexus is your metadata. That's why it is very important to create a rich metadata. And now let's talk about the structure of a DOI. Now we can see on your screen that this is a DOI string. Basically, a DOI is composed of three sections. The red part is the resolver address. Each DOI is an identifier, but also it is an actionable link. It means that it is resolvable in a browser. And the blue one is the prefix. We assign your prefix when you become a member of Crossref. And the yellow one is the suffix. This is the part that you need to create by yourselves. And this is basically assigned by you, and it is unique for each content item that you upload. Let's take a look at the prefix and suffix in more detail. So, basically, the blue one, when you join Crossref, you are assigned to a unique prefix, right? The blue one is your prefix, 10 dot blah blah blah, and one prefix may be used for all contents. And also, the yellow one is your suffix. Basically, your suffix needs to be opaque and is not readable by human. So basically, it needs to be unique and no limit to the number of DOI that you can create, and also there is no minimum number that is required. Each member has a very unique publishing schedule. I believe that. It could be daily, weekly, monthly, or even yearly, and your DOI can be registered at any time. Right, next, let's see the DOI suffix. So, um, we received many questions from our new members about how to create a suffix. Suffix are best when they include short strings that are easily displayed and typed and are opaque. It means that your suffix doesn't need to have a meaning on its own. And it's necessary also to use a suffix that is not containing a pattern that is human readable, because a DOI suffix with human readable elements can cause a problem. So make it short, simple, opaque, and also if you need a help on how to construct your suffix, you can always use a random suffix generator that are also available online. And let's talk about DOI display and reference linking. Okay. How should DOI be displayed? First, DOI should not be posted on your websites until they have been successfully registered and the DOI is active. And when you are listing the DOI of your content, we have guidelines to display that in our website. And it is really important to be consistent and also pay attention to the usability that we have on our guidelines, and all members should always follow this guideline. And also, this guideline make it as easy as possible for users to cut and paste or click and share the DOI that Crossref has. And using the full URL also gets user to recognize a DOI from Crossref as a both persistent link and also a persistent identifier. And also, it enables machines to recognize Crossref DOI as URLs. Next, let's take a look at the example of a landing page. It is important to have a landing page, and also we have these guidelines for the landing page in our documentation, and it needs to contain a full bibliographic citations so readers know that they arrive in the right content. And also your DOI need to be displayed as a URL, and also, there should be a way to access the full text of an article. And for example, if your journal is paid and the article should be accessed via a paywall, that's also fine, as long as like the user can click that link and it leads to the full text. And also, you have to make sure that your DOI is resolving correctly. It means that when a user click on the DOI, it will resolve to the landing page. So make sure that it does not end to a DOI not found page, which means that your DOI is not resolving correctly. And let's see a landing page that is not suitable. This is not suitable because in this landing page there is no unique URL for each articles, and there is only one URL for the whole issue. So this is not a good practice of a landing page. Okay, I pass the floor to Rabika.
Right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Nova. Now let's talk about ways to register your metadata records. So before I'm going to further details about metadata records, if you have any questions, so please drop your question on the Q&A box. So we will try to answer your questions. Yes. So this chart is a quick guide to choosing your content registration method for a specific content type. So use this chart to choose the best option for you. So no matter you register using one of our helper tools or creating your own metadata files, all metadata deposited with Crossref is submitted as XML and formatted using our metadata deposit schema sections. So how does the content registration work? So you will use one of our content registration method to give us metadata about your content, and members send registration, so send information called metadata to us. So metadata include fields like dates, title, authors, affiliation, ORCID, ROR, funding info, licensing info, and much more. So each metadata record includes a persistent identifier called a digital object identifier. So you don't send us the content itself, so you create a metadata record that links persistently via a persistent identifiers to the content on your site or hosting platform. So richer metadata makes content useful and easier to find. I know that not all of us you today use OJS as content registration method, but I'm sure there are some of you here today use OJS. Because so many organizations use OJS, several years ago, Crossref and PKP began a collaboration to create a less technical method for OJS users to register metadata with us and help publisher and journals take advantage of Crossref services. So we started with DOI XML export plugin that send basic metadata directly to Crossref from OJS. So different version had different configuring on how to set up the plugin. So the OJS references plugin is available from OJS 3.1.2 onwards. The plugin will use the Crossref API to check again plain text references and locate potential DOIs for article. So the plugin will also allow the display of references list on the article landing page in OJS and deposit them as part of your metadata deposit. So linking references is a requirement of Crossref membership. In our documentation on the website, so you can see these videos. You will find detailed videos and screenshot on how to set up our OJS plugin for Crossref. Currently, there are instructions for OJS 3.3 and 3.4. So we are also actively working on recording the video for 3.5. Here, the screenshot, I'd like to share the most common issue among new user in the authentication in the plugin. So when you become a Crossref member, you will receive a set of credentials that allow you to register content with us. So those credentials need to be properly configured in OJS plugin. So this is the way that you can log in to OJS DOI plugin at OJS. So there are two types of credentials that we currently use in Crossref. Role credentials contain only your role and the password and are most common amongst our sponsored members. So your sponsor will either provide you with the password so you can configure the OJS plugin yourself, or will probably be doing this for you. So for most our independent members, so you will receive user credentials. So this means you and your colleges have your own email connected to the shared role of the organization. So we usually set up user credential for your technical contact for the first time. So, but we can set up additional user credential for other colleges later on if you need to. And then we send you a username, the 4 to 5 letters that we set up to you. So the most common issue is this. By doing, you put your email address and the role. If you use role credentials, you just need to put the role here and then your password. But if we set up user credentials for you, so you need to put your email address first, slash, and then the username or role. So we always sometimes got the question from the member, like they are getting 401 errors. So yeah, sometimes they forgot that they need to put, if we set up user credentials, so they need to put email address slash role or username and then the password. So there are additional OJS Crossref plugin. There are additional plugins we've co-developed to send in additional metadata. So we have content registration or GUI plugin, reference linking, and deposit, similarity check or authenticate, and funder registry. So these vary by version, which is why it's good to make sure you up to date with your OJS version. PKP is continually working with Crossref to improve the level of overall DOI export support provided within OJS. So please note that OJS is run by PKP and not Crossref, though we can help you with deposit, both successful and failed. So we are not able to provide direct support in setting up your OJS instances. So yeah, Evans will put the link on the Zoom chats where you can see OJS documentation and the link to the PKP community forum if you have further questions. Next, new metadata manager. So new metadata manager is our newest tool. The new can be used for journal article and grants only at the moment. And at the top of the page, you can see how to access the form. So by click manage.crossref.org/records. So you can choose to create a new journal article record or edit record that you've already registered. If this is the first time you've used this form, so you will choose new record that new record. So your journal needs to have an ISSN. So to use this new metadata manager, if you don't have an ISSN, you will need to use web deposit form. So on this session, I will show to you the demo on how to use our new metadata manager. And take an example of register the article journal. So you can select type of record you wish to register. So currently support journal article and grants, but we are working on adding support for additional record types. And then you can click continue. Next, you need to submit all the informations such as article title and then article DOI. What's the title of the journal? Which DOI are you going to register for this article? And what is the landing page on your site where the article lives? As Nova mentioned earlier, so the landing page that you can see which is contain the basic bibliographic information and the link that where you can click the full PDF. So you put the URL here, and there are other fields that you need to fill out, such as ORCID ID, authors informations, into the institution information, and others. So after you fill out all of the field here, next you will include information about the journal title the article is being published. So you put the name of the journal here, the ISSN of the journal it is required. So that's why if you don't have the ISSN number, so you need to use our web deposit form. So this abbreviation of title is optional. And then the next issue, so issue is the least valuable information. So this is the optional, so you don't need to make your life complicated by making the issue number here. Make it easier. It is not required, so you don't have to fill it. After that, so you can click submit, and then you will get the notification like this. So your journal article record successfully submitted. So you can see this submission ID, the DOI, where you click this link that resolves to the landing page. So this is the example when you submitted your article successfully. Your record will become available in our APIs in the next 24 hours. Next slide is the example when after you submit your information and then you got the error. So the good thing with our new metadata manager, it's real-time verification. So you will know exactly if you have a problem like error like this. What should we do when we have an error? So Evans will send you the link, variety errors that you might find and on how to resolve it. So not all members are able to generate their own XML or use OJS. So we have alternative option like web deposit form or direct deposit of XML. So you don't need to know XML to use the form. You just type the information straight in. It is more limited in what it collected compared to what you can send via XML deposit. But it is simpler or less technical. So there are some metadata elements that you cannot currently register as part of your initial deposit in the web deposit form. So however, you can add many of these to an existing deposit later on using our other tools. So here's a list of elements that cannot currently be included in your initial deposit within the web deposit form. So for funding and license information, similarity checks URL, license informations, and text and data mining's URL can be added to existing DOIs inbox using a supplemental metadata upload. For references, you can use our simple text query. So as obligation as a member, you need to updating your metadata records. There is a fee when you initially register your DOI and metadata record, but you can make any numbers of updates to the metadata record after your initial registration. These updates are always free of charge. So we want your metadata to be as rich as possible. So the richer your records, the more discoverable it is. So once you start depositing metadata with Crossref, maintaining it is key to keeping it clean, complete, and up to date. So each content item registered with us has one-time fee. So you will not be charged to update your existing records. To correct or update metadata for an already registered record, so you can do, for example, like if you are using OJS plugin, so go to the relevant article and publish, add the missing element, save, and republish. So if you are using web deposit form user, so you can use that to make those changes, but please not to need redeposit all of the metadata. So for example, if you find that you misspell an author last name, so you have to manually type in or copy paste not just the corrected last name, metadata that applies to the article before resubmitting. And then redeposit an XML file with the updated metadata in it directly to us. So when making an update, you must supply all the bibliographic metadata for the record being updated, not just the field that need to be changed. So for URL updates, as the result of a platform migration or title transfer, so you don't need to resubmit all the metadata. So you can simply send us the CSV file of the DOIs with their new URLs, and we will update this for you. So please remember that a new DOI is never assigned for a URL update or a title transfer, and there are never charged to update the metadata. So here are, as previously mentioned, you can updating existing record in bulk for the funding data, similarity checks URL, text and data mining, and license info by uploading a CSV file on the web deposit form. If you have moved to a new website, for example, so you need to update all your existing resolution URLs in bulk. Next up on our agenda about invoicing and billing information. So when we set up when you join us as independent member, so you will give us a billing contact or billing secondary contact. So both contact will receive our billing notification, and our quarterly invoices for content registration, and annually invoices for the annual invoices. So our content registration invoices, so we send quarterly, so in January, April, July, October. So these content registration invoices are sent out after you have registered your DOIs with us. So this is because there are different fees depending on the content type that you registered with us. And then depends on whether it's current content. For example, if you register your content in 2026, so the current content year is 2026, 2025, and 2024. Or you register your back file contents for older than 2023. So there is no limitation. You can register your content as many as you can, no limitation, current or back file content. And you may not receive content registration invoices every single quarter. So if the amount of content you register in a quarter total less than USD 100. So for example, in quarterly, so you just register like 25 journal articles. So for journal articles, the fee is 1 USD. So it's 25 USD. So you will not get the invoice for 25 USD in your first quarter. So we will roll up until the invoice reach 100 USD. So this is to avoid members having to pay lots of small invoices, which may incur international charge. If you haven't reached USD 100 in fees, we send out an invoice for whatever balance is at the time at the end of the year or the fourth quarter. Which means in January. If you have further questions, we are here happy to help you. You can read through our members area documentations here or Crossref documentations. Visit our community forum. You can see the current topics that we discuss. And also if you have something for your account needs to be updated, for example, if you want to update your account details, like your account names or your mailing or billing address, or for example, if your organization has been restructure, so someone's left your organization and you need to update the contact, so you need to contact us because currently you cannot update your account by your own, but we are happy to update your details. As OJS is run by PKP, so we give you further information on OJS plugin documentation and go to the PKP community forum if you have any further questions. Yeah, it's time to a question Q&A sessions.
Yeah, so basically, there are some questions already in the chat box. The first one is from Muhammad Munir. If we move to a new server or website, our DOIs will change. What will happen if someone has old DOI? Will it automatically land on a new landing page?
If I may answer that, no.
Yep.
Once you change your website, your general website, you need to come and update the resolution URL for each and every DOI that you registered previously to point to the new general website that you have. And each DOI, each article DOI should be redirected to resolve to the specific article landing page in the new website.
Robika, do you have something to add?
Nope. That's
All
all
right.
good.
All right, thank you, Evans. And the next questions. This is with reference to setting up a landing page. Usually, our university upload the conference proceeding book as a PDF file in our website, where it could be downloaded. If I need to give DOIs to each article in that conference proceeding books, what would be the landing page? Is it compulsory to set up a landing page? Maybe Robika, you can answer this.
Yep. So as a member obligation, yep, the landing page is compulsory. It contains when someone cited your articles, the landing page where they can land to your article, like contain basic bibliographic like the title of your articles, the author's names, and then how to cite and then the link to your full PDFs. So you need to have each of landing page for each of your articles. So this is mandatory.
Okay.
Thank you.
I hope it answers. Maybe Evans, you have something to add?
Yep, that was a perfect one. Thank you, Robika.
Thank you, Robika. The next question, is it possible to register the metadata for articles that have been published before becoming registered member of Crossref?
Yes,
Okay.
it's possible. It's possible to register DOIs for content that you published before becoming a Crossref member. So be it articles that were published in the 1990, 2000, 2010. Keyword is as long as you have the copyright and ownership to that content, you can be able to register that content as backfile content.
Yeah, so there is an option actually to register the backfile content. And also, fun fact, the fee is cheaper compared to registering your current file. Robika, do you want to add some more informations?
Yep. Yeah, as Nova mentioned, it's we welcome you can register any content for any years, even before you become a Crossref member, as we call it back files. So currently the fee is 0.15 USD, so it's a lot cheaper, and then it makes your content will be discoverable even though it's published in 1900 or 1600, something like that. So yeah, it's good to publish articles in different year, current or back file. There is no limitation on that. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you, Robika and Evans. The next question, it's on XML. The question is, how can we get XML data past API? Because of we are sending data direct to Crossref through API. I think Evans may answer this question.
It's not a very clear question, but I'll try answer that. So I assume you're you're constructing your own XML files. So, and you're posting them directly to Crossref. So, maybe Nova, we can get more clarification there. What do they mean by getting the XMLs back and all that?
Okay.
Maybe I can allow Venka to talk.
Mhm.
Yep. I've unmuted Venkata, so you can elaborate more on your question so we can help you to answer.
Maybe as Venkat prepares, we can answer another one. Let's see, we're running out of time.
Yep.
Okay. What is the purpose of role information given in the account details along with the GUI prefix in the welcome email? Maybe Robika, you can answer this.
Yep. So the role that we given when you become a Crossref member, so the role that you can log into our admin tool, and then you can to register your content, and also you can use that role to, for example, if you are using OJS, so you can use that role to log into your Crossref OJS plugin. Is there anything need to add, Evans, with the role? What we
No,
can do on our admin tool, maybe? Yeah.
I think you covered it well, so we
All
can,
right.
yeah.
All right. Thank you. Oh, yeah. Thank you so much for the question.
This is not a question, but this member is from IREC and they are having a hard time paying the bills. Actually, our payment portal is run by a third party service, and they are blocking the access to organizations in Russia, China, and Iraq. So for members in that regions, we recommend to use bank transfer. And also, if you still face some difficulties in payments, you can always send us a ticket to our membership team. Robika, do you want to add something to this?
Nope. Yep. If you have a further, if you want to know more details about that, yeah, feel free to contact us. So our billing team will provide you more details on how to, yeah, transfer the invoices.
Okay. Maybe the next question. When we register a journal article, we read that first the journal article should be registered, the journal title should be registered, and that we use after that always this DOI for the journal title. So the DOI should be persistent only for that journal title. Is it the same process if we register book series?
Yes, it's exactly the same process as you've just detailed.
Okay. Maybe the last question for today, I would like to ask how we should correctly include DOI numbers for references used in articles published in our journal when they are being submitted to Crossref. Specifically, could you clarify the proper structure and format of adding DOI within the reference list metadata? Should DOIs be entered manually or included through XML deposit files using specific tags? Basically, it's about adding references to metadata. Evans or Robika?
We'll take that. So essentially what you're asking is about reference linking. I'm just dropping a link in the chat that will guide you more on how to do reference linking. If you're doing it via XML, direct XML deposits, please include it as part of your citation metadata, reference metadata that is. If you're using a web deposit form, then consider using the simple text query to do that. And if you're doing through OJS, then we have the reference linking plugin in OJS. Please consider activating that plugin. Thank you.
Okay, I think we're at the end of this webinar.
Yeah. That's a wrap for today's webinar. Thank you so much for joining us from all around the world. It's been great having you all here. So we hope the session gave you useful insight and help makes your Crossref membership journey smooth. Yeah, registering content should feel easy, and we are here to support you every step of the way. If we haven't answered your question, we will contact you separately by email. And we would like to promote our upcoming webinars. For example, if you would like to know about your quality of your metadata, where the gaps are, and what our members that you need to improve to on your metadata, so you can join our metadata health check, so you can check your participation reports and other upcoming webinars. So I think Evans will can help to put the Zoom check our for the upcoming webinars. So it's always inspiring to connect with you, such a global community. So wishing you a wonderful day ahead wherever you are, and we look forward to see you again. Thank you so much.